players make some plays, and they'll have some tough decisions to make in the next few days. Our final score tonight from GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, Chicago 34, Kansas City 21. For Trent Green, Matt McMullen, and our entire Chiefs television crew, I'm Ari Wolf. Thanks for watching Chiefs preseason football. The quest for a three-peat gets underway for real on September 5th versus the Ravens.
Carson Steele had some very nice runs. The fans, I was shocked when I walked out there, and I mean, they, for a third preseason game when your starters aren't playing, I mean, they were on fire. So it was great to see everybody out there, and we look forward to the Ravens game coming up here in a couple weeks, and we know this place will be geared up and ready to go. And I know our veteran players and some of those young guys, once they heal up from this, they'll be ready to go too.
Now you can't leave.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Stephen St. John here with Jake Gutierrez. Thank you so much for joining us. Stan Weber will be with us at 6:30, just like he is each and every Friday. We'll check in with Jeff Penner and get you the weekend forecast. Former Royals catcher Mike McFarland will be with us to talk about the Royals and preview the series against the Philadelphia Phillies starting tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Very excited about this. A new guest on the show who will appear 12 times on the show this football season. Mizzou quarterback Brady Cook will join us, and he will be Brady Cook will be a regular guest on the show throughout the football season. Wow. Be a little Gary Glitter. That's fine. But Brady Cook will be with us today at 8:30. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Tim Grunhard will be back on the phone. Jake. It's quite a surprise. How about that?
Well, at least he'll be on this week.
Yeah.
Next week he won't.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then he's good for the rest of the year.
There's in no way that's true.
Yeah.
For you to say that, I mean, no.
I think he has some stuff with his son's wedding.
Yeah?
Next week.
All right.
Bachelor party maybe, something, I don't know.
Okay, whatever you say, bud.
Yeah.
You know what?
But I think we might try to get him on the Wednesday before the Chiefs even play, maybe. And then the Friday after. I think he's trying to make that up for next week.
Like 2 times in a week?
Yeah.
Not necessary.
Okay.
It's all right. We're okay. You don't have to do that. It's all right. We can do one. We can hash that out off the air.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, he's on today.
You miss a week, you just let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no reason to try to make nothing up. You know what I mean?
I get you.
We all got our.
You got
we all
stuff.
we all got our assigned times. So we, go ahead and stick to those, huh? How about that?
How about that?
So, look, third preseason game, it's over. Bears won 34-21.
Woof.
Nothing that happened really. Well, the two most important things from last night.
Some scary moments.
Yeah. Number one, Bears defensive back Douglas Coleman III was hospitalized after suffering an injury while making a tackle during the game last night. It happened on the first play from scrimmage in the second half when Coleman tackled Cornell Powell near the Chiefs sideline. Players from both teams gathered around him on the field. Coleman was placed by medical personnel on a stabilizing board, then a stretcher. Face mask removed, but not his helmet. He was put into the back of a Kansas City Fire Department ambulance and taken from the field. After the game, Bears coach Matt Eberflus said Coleman did have movement in his limbs and gave a thumbs up to players and coaches before he was carted off the field. He's taken to a local hospital for additional evaluation. The 26-year-old played the past 2 seasons in the CFL in Ottawa. He played his college ball at Texas Tech, began his pro career in 2020 with the Denver Broncos as an undrafted free agent, and so hopefully he's okay. And like you said, scary moment last night. So hopefully, maybe even during the show, we'll get another good update.
Yeah.
A positive update.
It's just preseason games. I mean, the game 3 it's just, what are we doing here? Go to 18, 2 preseason games. Just let's do it. I mean, that last night was it was awful. I mean, it's awful football. I mean, outside of Carson Steele's 50 yards in 3 plays, it's just, I mean, I get it. Some of these guys that are on the fringe, they're trying to put tape, trying to stay in the league, and I do get that. But, I mean, there were guys going down left and right last night.
2 games is enough, and a full training camp and plenty of practice and everything else to show whether or not you belong on this team.
Yes.
And so the biggest story concerning the Chiefs had nothing to do with the game, and it was reported before the game started that Creed Humphrey will become the highest paid center in NFL history, agreeing to a 4-year contract extension that, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, is worth $72 million. The deal includes $50 million in guarantees. Andy Reid said after the game, he's a heck of a football player, a real good football player. He started off that way, and he kept it going that way, so we appreciate all he does, and we appreciate having him here. Creed Humphrey did not speak to reporters after the game. So, because the regulars are not looking for a microphone after that game.
He was taking his treasure bath.
If they didn't play. Right? Brett Veach said, needless to say, we're extremely excited to continue Creed's career here. He's been great for our organization, and we've been very fortunate to have a really good group of young guys, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more work done with some of these other young guys as well. Who? Well, they crossed Harrison Butker off the list. They signed him to an extension. I think the top priority of the guys that are eligible for extensions was and should have been Creed Humphrey, because, okay, you can make an argument that Butker's the best kicker in the NFL. All right, if you want to say he's not and he's second or third or whatever, yeah, okay, great. But if you tell me I think he's the best, I'm not going to argue with you. If you tell me I think he's the best in the postseason and he's the best at making clutch kicks when everything's on the line, I will agree with you. You need to look back and think about, I mean, even that 13-second game, he doesn't get enough credit for nailing that kick after Mahomes and Kelsey set it up. It was a long kick, and he nailed it. We've seen missed kicks in postseason in Kansas City enough to appreciate and to understand that it ain't easy, right? The kick that he made at the end of the AFC Championship game win against Cincinnati was a very difficult kick in not great conditions. He nailed that. Think about the big kicks he's made in Super Bowls, okay? And so the Chiefs won, because I know some people question whether or not you spend that much money on a kicker when you have a guy that you could trust and you have a guy that will go out there with the season on the line, with championships on the line, and will nail kicks, nail difficult kicks, nail a wide variety of kicks, indoor, outdoor, short, long, whatever, then yes, sign him up. And like I said, you can make the argument that he's the best kicker in football.
I mean, he's got the longest kick in Super Bowl history.
Thank you.
He's got tied with the most field goals in Super Bowl history. 9 and a 57-yarder. I mean,
so I get it, and I have no problem with it.
No.
Creed Humphrey is the best center in football. Most people feel that way. I feel that way. You would argue he's not. Well, he's certainly second or third. But I think he's the best. The Chiefs think he's the best. And so you lock him up. A couple of guys, you can make the argument that are the best of their position. They did the same thing with Chris Jones. And especially with Aaron Donald retired, Chris Jones is the best at his position. But it is important to note that Brett Veach said, hopefully we are able to get a little bit more work done with some of these other young guys as well. The next two guys that would be candidates, Trey Smith and or Nick Bolton. And so we'll see if that's who Brett Veach is talking about, and if they're able to get a deal done with one of those guys or both of those guys. Or neither of those guys. I don't know. But clearly the priority was Butker and Creed Humphrey. I think Creed Humphrey was number one. Just because Butker got done first doesn't mean that the Chiefs thought he was more important. Creed Humphrey, you keep him with Patrick Mahomes. One stat you could look at, 2023 in the ESPN article, they mentioned that he ranked second among the NFL's interior offensive linemen in pass block win rate at 98.8%. The only interior offensive lineman that had a better pass block win rate was his teammate Joe Thuney. So, congratulations to Creed Humphrey, highest paid center. He ain't going no place. And you know what? He's one of those guys, you look at him, he was born to be a Chief. You know? He was born to play in Kansas City. He fits very well in this community, in this organization, and on this football team. Perfect fit. And what a draft pick. What a second-round draft pick. So, here's something cool that popped up. On the topic of Creed Humphrey, you might remember that we had our friend Kyle from Boulevard in studio this week talking about an event they were doing with Creed Humphrey where they were going to have basically a tailgate contest, have different people come out to Boulevard in the parking lot and set up their tailgates, and Creed Humphrey was going to judge. You could win a prize pack, and he was going to be there to meet and greet with fans. Well, Jake, due to the extreme heat in the weather forecast, the original format of the parking lot tailgate contest has shifted, and now it's simply going to be an indoor celebration, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they want to apologize to anyone that was interested in entering the tailgate championship, as that portion of the party has been canceled. But if you want to go out and have some fun and enjoy yourself and get yourself in game mode and get yourself ready to start celebrating football on a Sunday, well, how about this, Jake?
How about it?
This Sunday, Boulevard's going to be celebrating the football season with an indoor tailgate party.
Sounds like a better idea.
Joined by Creed Humphrey. center and protector of tailgates. You can go to the Tours and Rec Center on Sunday from 12:30 until 2:30 for a beer hall takeover. They're going to have game day eats, cold beers, and beverages. You can enjoy pulled pork sandwiches in partnership with barbecue champions OG Bandits, jock jams from DJ Joe KC, prizes and giveaways from Sports Radio 810, and a visit from KC Pet Project. Creed Humphrey will be there and will be available for fan photos at 1 o'clock. And $1 from every draft pour will go to his favorite nonprofit, KC Pet Project.
What a great cause.
The event is free to attend and open to the public. So Sunday, you can join Boulevard and Creed Humphrey for a toast to their favorite season, football season, and raise some money for KC Pet Project and enjoy some delicious food and get some cold drinks and do it indoors and take a picture with Creed Humphrey because he's going to be available for fan photos at 1 o'clock. And so what a fun thing to do.
And it's all for a wonderful cause.
KC Pet Project.
Absolutely.
What a fun thing to do. Like maybe you've got some kids that, and you didn't get a chance to get up to training camp to try to get pictures or autographs, or you haven't been lucky enough to meet any of the current members of the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, whenever they make appearances, it's long lines, autographs aren't cheap. And, you know, we all have busy schedules, and maybe you haven't had a chance to do that. Well, here's a great opportunity to go to a free event down at Boulevard and enjoy some good food and drink and celebrate football, help raise money for a very worthy cause, KC Pet Project, and go ahead and get a family pic with Creed Humphrey.
Yes, sir.
And congratulate him on signing his new contract.
Yes.
And remaining a member of the Kansas City Chiefs for several years to come. Again, Creed Humphrey will be available for fan photos at 1 o'clock down there. And the events are 12:30 to 2:30. And you know it's a great place to go. Good people down there. Lots of fun. Food, festivities, Creed Humphrey.
Inside.
And the event is free.
The heat.
Yeah, the event is free to attend. It's open to the public. So go on down there. If you don't have plans on Saturday, spend a couple of hours at Boulevard and get a chance to meet and greet Creed Humphrey, take a picture with him, say, hey, look at this. I took this picture just a couple of days after Creed Humphrey signed his new contract. That's my guy. You got time to go get a jersey or a jersey because now you know he's locked in for several years.
Sunday, 12:30 to 2:30. Creed will be available at 1.
Where did I hear that before?
Just reiterating.
I don't think you believe me.
No.
You going down there?
I might, yeah. I've never met Creed Humphrey.
Good dude.
I
Very
believe
good
it.
dude.
I believe it.
We had a
Chiefs are full of great dudes.
we had an event at Boulevard last year, and we're going to do it again coming up. And I'll announce that when I'm, you know what,
When you're damn good and ready.
But I am seated for Creed, for KC Pet Project, and we took a family photo with Creed Humphrey and some beautiful dogs.
Well,
this event,
cause near and dear to my heart,
but another event that they have down there, but it's in conjunction with KC Pet Project. He made several of his, didn't make them. He asked them, and they showed up. Several of his offensive line teammates hung out as well. And so they've asked me to do that again this year. And so, Jake, if you want to go with me down there,
yeah,
that's more of a formal, not a formal, but it's more of a, invite thing. And you got to purchase a spot, and it's to raise money, and he's down there, and there's dinner and everything else. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of your spot if you want to go.
I'm in.
If you want to rub his elbow or rub elbows with him.
Rub elbows.
I mean, you can rub his elbow. I mean, maybe.
I don't think he'll like that.
What? How do you know?
Good
maybe
point.
he'd love it.
He might.
He's, oh, hey.
It's pretty sore.
Hey,
you
man.
mind rubbing the south?
Keep doing that. I like that. Thanks. Nobody ever thinks to do that.
Right.
Yeah, my elbow hurts. Rub it a little bit more. Get in there.
A lot of snapping.
Deep tissue, something. Yeah. But anyway.
Sunday.
You can't do that.
Get out there.
Sunday, go out there to Boulevard and celebrate with Creed Humphrey.
$1 from every pour. Go to the KC Pet Project.
It's up to you to make sure that there's a lot of dollars donated, people. All right? So that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. And if you didn't get a chance to jot down the details, we'll mention it a couple of times between now and 10 o'clock. Just remember Boulevard this Sunday with Creed Humphrey in the afternoon. How could you possibly forget that? Also, I've told you about the new Sports Radio 810 NFL season preview and Super Bowl champion collector's edition magazine. They are available if you're watching the stream right now. This is what it looks like, the beautiful cover. If you haven't had a chance to pick up a copy, please do so. You could stop by and pick up a free copy at all Hen House and Central Bank locations, Westlake Hardware stores, Hollywood Casino. I like Hollywood Casino. I've had some good times there. Greenlight Dispensaries, Pizza Shuttle, and all remotes this month. Don't wait. Pick up your free copy today. And you see here, this is what my contribution. I ranked all the regular season games based on what I want to see. Am I holding it right? Yeah. So it's just it's not in order. It's not in chronological order. But you see, SSJ ranks every game on the 2024 schedule. And so number one, and Jake knows this is no surprise, is the Week 2 matchup against the Bengals. For me, I'm not saying the importance. I'm saying of my anticipation of what I want to see. Number 2 is Week 1 against the Ravens. Number 3, I'm not going to give away anymore. Number 3 is Week 7 at the 49ers. One more. Week 4 is Week 11 at the Bills.
Bills.
Number 17 in last place was I'm sorry. They're all good. They're all Chiefs games. They're all chances to watch Mahomes and Kelsey and Chris Jones. So there's nothing bad, but I have to rank them. So there has to be number 17. Number 7. All apologies to the people of Carolina, but Week 12 at the Panthers was my least anticipated game. Right?
Panthers.
Because it had to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be probably one of the worst teams in the NFL, so that makes sense.
I had division games, right? Number 16, I had Week 10 versus the Broncos. I had the Broncos a lot higher. I don't know. It's difficult, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a full schedule, man.
I wanted to rank, I ranked the Saints game low, but that's still a Monday night football game at Arrowhead. But, man, the Saints just don't do it for me.
Saints.
They just, you know what I mean? They look like they're just.
Yeah,
they're just running in place, man.
Coach on a hot seat, washed up quarterback.
And this is just one stupid man's opinion.
Wow. Yep.
No right or wrong. You got stats. You've got
some fantasy cheat sheets.
Mahomes versus Brady becoming the GOAT by Seren Petro with some stats, and he writes about that. We've got Todd Lebo's notable free agent movement.
Todd Lebo
charts. He was bitching when he was putting that together. I was in there jacking with him in his office. I'm glad I see it made it to the pages. For some reason, the middle picture, the featured picture in the middle of the magazine is a picture of Todd Lebo and Tech 9.
I'm a hard ass. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do a free agents. Put that picture of me and Tech 9 right in the middle. Get a schedule in here. Pete Sweeney wrote about the upcoming season. Curtis Seabold has some trivia. So it's good stuff. And as Jake mentioned, hey, by the way, these fantasy football magazines ain't cheap. You see how much these damn things are? I know most of the stuff's done online, but I'm always a guy. I like the feel of a magazine. I like to walk in there to Barnes & Noble or whatever, and I want to buy a magazine. Because guess what? Then and you can print stuff up. I get it. I'm old school. I'd like to get my highlighter, my red pen. I'm there at the draft or knocks. I'm crossing names off. I'm highlighting. I'm circling. You know?
Oh, I know.
And so we'll save you from having to spend $15, however much these damn things are. A cheat sheet.
That's nice. Look at that.
ESPN.com's rankings. Cheat sheet.
Give me the top 3 running backs.
On this
Yeah.
list? Christian McCaffrey,
Yep.
Breece Hall,
Yep.
and Bijan Robinson.
That's the tier 1. That's right. That's right. And then if you have pick number 4 or 5, you're kind of screwed.
I do. I know. Oh, I do.
I know.
I know. Oh, this is a hot take.
Let's hear it.
Who's the number 1 tight end?
I mean, Kelsey?
Nope. Which is ridiculous that he's not, but who do you think they have?
Andrews?
No. He's 3.
Kittle.
No. This is making you look foolish now.
Dallas Goedert.
No.
I don't know.
Sam Laporta.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to get to him.
Now, were you? How many more tight ends were you going to name before you get to him?
He's probably next on my list.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll never know, will we?
I don't know why I said Dallas Goedert. He's not a top 5 guy.
Yeah, he came in at 11, so
Yeah.
he's at least, whatever.
I mean, that would have been a hot take if he was number 1.
Anyway, the point is, it's a cheat sheet. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little something extra.
I'm going to go snag one off the front desk now.
I got the last two on the front desk.
Oh, you jerk.
Good luck, buddy. I'll give you one of them. I got 2 of them. See what I told you all the places you can get one.
Yeah.
It's a nice collector edition. Nice for the coffee table. Nice for the kids.
How much does it cost?
Nothing.
What?
Nada. Not a damn thing. Nice. All right. So we got lots to talk about today.
A lot going on today.
Talk about what happened in the game last night. And as you mentioned, Carson Steele. My goodness, what appeal for Carson Steele.
Yeah.
What else
Doing everything.
could he have done
Doing everything.
to make him an instant fan favorite?
Making tackles on special teams.
And I feel so proud of myself.
You should.
Being up there the first week
You
of camp,
should.
sending videos of Carson Steele out on Twitter.
And I should be ashamed of myself.
To Anthony Sherman and having smart asses on Twitter. Hey, nice job. What are you tweeting out pictures of guys you're not even going to make the team?
That's me.
Football.
At Jake Gutierrez.
No, guess what? I went back to look to see.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was going to go back
Some
and answer
mentions.
the people that meant, yeah, hey, how about some more videos of guys that aren't going to make the team? Deleted.
Yeah, of course.
They beat me to it.
Right.
Because I was going to drag him through the mud today. Delete.
Smart.
It is smart. But you know what? Stand behind what you said.
Yeah.
So I feel vindicated.
Yeah, well, I don't. I said they're going to keep 4 tight ends, and Carson Steele's going to be on the practice squad.
We'll lean into him now.
Hey, I will. I was wrong.
Lean into him.
Irv Smith's probably not going to make this team now.
Carson Steele, 4 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And a stiff arm.
Yeah, running hard.
He stiff-armed that dude into the ground.
That was a great run. 3 great runs.
Like Andy Reid said at the game, they looked like they didn't want to tackle him.
It didn't.
And I get it's preseason, but like, what else do you want him to do with the opportunities that were given to him?
By the way, you get late round
God.
Carson Steele, handcuff him with Pacheco. Yeah. I think Steele.
It looks like Carson Steele's going to pick up some touchdowns. Yeah,
Steele.
A late round steal.
There you go.
Yeah. 4 carries, 50 yards, touchdown, along with 31 yards. Carson Steele, fan favorite. The man of steel. All right? Wow. What a preseason for Carson Steele. Other stuff happened. We'll talk about it. We got the Royals taking on the Phillies. It's all good in this hood. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Yeah, look, obviously in the last 24, 48 hours, we've had a lot of good dialogue, and I'm pretty sure that, we'll put pen to paper soon, but needless to say, we're extremely excited to, continue Creed's career here. He's been great for our organization, and look, we've been very fortunate to have really a good group of young guys, and hopefully, we're able to get a little bit more work done with some of these other young guys as well.
Yeah, he's a heck of a football player. Yeah, real good football player, and he started off that way, and he's kept it going that way. So we appreciate all he does, and we appreciate having him here for this year.
All right, that was Brett Veach and Andy Reid talking about Creed Humphrey, who, according to many reports, has signed, is signing an extension to stay with the Kansas City Chiefs and become the highest paid center in the NFL. We have Stan Weber in studio. And Stan, before we get into football, I feel like you need to give a quick update. How much fun is it to scoreboard watch in Major League Baseball? Get ready for it. There's still a lot of people that don't have much experience dealing with the Royals in the playoffs and dealing with how to handle that. Because every night, up and down and all around. Hey, go Yankees! That's what I've always said around here, isn't it? Sometimes. The Yankees beat Cleveland 6-0. Attaboy, Gary Dieter. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. And also the A's beat the Rays, and the Astros shut out the Orioles. And so now, and the Phillies lost to the Braves. So the Phillies are coming off a loss coming into Kansas City.
Yankees
so
win.
now,
Yankees win.
Boy, oh boy, will we never play that again. But it's, you know what, it works for today. That's good. All right, I'll accept it. Stan, we wake up today, and the Royals are only 2 games. Two games behind Cleveland in the Central. They are tied with the Minnesota Twins, only 2 games out of first place in the AL Central on August 23rd, and they are only 2 games out of the number 1 spot in the wild card. And remember, the number 1 wild card team will host a wild card series. So 2 games out of first place in the Central, and only 2 games behind Baltimore for the number 1 wild card spot, and they have a 3.5 game lead over Boston in the wild card, tied with Minnesota. And besides Boston, Tampa, they're 7 back. Seattle has collapsed. They fired their manager, Scott Service. They're 7.5 back. This is crazy.
It's fun. Boy, everybody's good around here, isn't it? College football ready to start tomorrow. Officially, Florida State kicking it off in Ireland against Georgia Tech. And then you look around here, KU, K-State, Missouri, all in the top 25, all thinking about being in a college football playoff. Kansas City Chiefs, the best football team in the world and the most important sport in the world. And the Royals are also very good and right in it. And it's not because they're in a poor division. Sometimes you say, hey, they're 2 games out of first place, but this division is awful. That's not the case. Cleveland has played great. Minnesota continues to fight. And here the Royals are right there. Very exciting. I went out there a couple nights ago and watched the Royals. Unfortunately, one of the few losses they have at home, but I saw an exciting game. Old school, not just a bunch of home runs, all kinds of double plays, doubles, singles, base running, people left on base. It was a great game to watch, except for the Royals were trailing the whole time and ended up losing. But, yeah, this is very exciting. Can't wait to get it was a big miss yesterday that the Royals weren't on.
They're 3.5 games behind the Yankees for the number 1 seed.
I know.
So, anything's
in play.
It's in play. Every single thing's in play.
And they finally in baseball made it valuable like the NFL. Winning the division is better than being a wild card, et cetera, et cetera. Being the number 1 seed or number 2 seed matter. Baseball's done a good job expanding the playoffs, allowing another wild card team in each league. And the reward of where they are, they're a wild card team right now, but if they can get to Minnesota, get to Cleveland, all those things move them right up the ladder, maybe catch the Yankees.
Yeah, I know people are nervous about this upcoming schedule, but you know what? maybe and these other teams are probably nervous about playing the Royals. They had a great segment on MLB Network about 2 or 3 nights ago about dangerous teams you don't want to face down the stretch. And I think the Royals were number 2. They were in the top 3. And they said, well, look at this. There's their rotation's deep. There's no off night in their rotation. They've got who's been maybe the best acquisition of the trade deadline in Lucas Erceg, a shutdown closer now. They've got a maybe the best player in baseball in Bobby Witt Jr. Vinny Pasquantino has been on fire as far as a run producer over the past month or so. Salvi is Salvi. Teams don't want to play the Royals. And look, they also control things too because they're playing teams that are battling for playoff spots. After Philadelphia, we've gone through this. 4 at Cleveland, 4 at Houston, 3 at home against Cleveland, 3 at home against Minnesota, 3 at New York, Stan. How exciting is that going to be for people like you and me that can vividly remember watching the Royals and the Yankees playing meaningful baseball in Yankee Stadium and then having Bobby Witt Jr. and Aaron Judge? You think anyone's going to watch that series? Oh, look at Stan smiling.
Because we have, not that long ago, but time flies, basically almost 10 years ago, when we went through the final portions of the 2014 season and then right into a great season from start to finish, the 2015 season. Remember when the Royals rolled through and played so well in the playoffs, made it to the World Series 2 years in a row? The Yankees weren't a part of that. So you really do have to go back a long time. Usually it's the Royals not doing their part. But the Yankees have not been winning World Series for a long time either. And so now you're right. This is different. Because in 14 and 15, you weren't thinking late in the season, oh, Yankees, Royals, what's going to happen? Reminding you of the George Brett days, Craig Nettles and all those guys, Billy Martin. No, you're right. This is different. Royals and Yankees both fighting near the top. It'll be fun to see. And guys like Mike McFarland, who come on right after me, right here on your show, those guys don't like the Yankees.
No.
And it's fun to see. Even though they haven't played for a long, long time, they're still like, I don't like the Yankees.
That's great. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's get into football. Before we talk about the game, the big news, Creed Humphrey signing an extension. The reports are 4 years, $72 million with $50 million guaranteed, make him the highest paid center in football. Your reaction to that deal?
My reaction to that deal is that it's good for the Chiefs, but it again puts the biggest spotlight on the most amazing player in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. This is all about Patrick Mahomes. He could eat up every extra dollar that goes to a Creed Humphrey or a Harrison Butker by saying, I need to be the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. I brought a little graph in here for you, Stephen, that shows the highest paid quarterbacks by average as you go up. You see Patrick Mahomes right here. Look at all the names of higher paid quarterbacks as you go to the top of the sheet. Mm-hmm. Is that amazing? I mean, other teams are having their quarterbacks suck another $5 million, another $10 million out of the salary cap. Why does Patrick Mahomes not do that? He's the best player. And Travis Kelce. To me, the spotlight is on them, that they're allowing other players under the salary cap situation to get paid as well. And being a quarterback, when you look at the offensive line, everyone's got to wonder about the left tackle, right? I mean, that's your blind side if you're a right-handed quarterback. I get all that. They're paid a lot. But the connectivity between a quarterback and a center, setting the tone at the center position, I think is really different than the other positions. If that guy makes a wrong call on setting the line, or he and a quarterback are on different pages, when he go, 54 is the mic, and then he makes a call, if it's not right on target, Andy Reid's stuff gets discounted. Because if you don't block it right, the play isn't going to work nearly as well. So to have that connectivity between quarterback and center, how they set things up, how they think, how they work together, even a snap. I mean, Patrick Mahomes doesn't think about the snap right now. When you're teaching little kids, there are plenty of men and women out there getting ready to coach some football, flag football for girls probably. There's a lot of shotgun snapping, right? You know what they keep saying to those quarterbacks, all of them? Fundamentals. Concentrate on that snap. Make sure you get the ball before you go to your next thing looking for receivers. Guess what? Patrick Mahomes probably doesn't even think about it. When you see him reaching down to his knee or catching a ball right at his belly perfectly, it is second nature because he and Creed are on the same page, even at that point. And he's left-handed. which could throw a quarterback off as well. So having the safety blanket of a center connected with Patrick Mahomes, I think that just makes Patrick Mahomes even better, makes the Chiefs better. So I think it's great. It's unbelievable when you think that he's getting $18 million a year on average, and he's guaranteed 50 of it no matter what happens. It's pretty incredible, the dollars that are out there. But I look at Travis Kelce and especially Patrick Mahomes for allowing it to happen. Look at other teams in the NFL. The quarterbacks are not allowing that to happen.
And look, Brett Veach deserves a massive amount of credit as well.
Oh, absolutely. Their organizations run so well.
Like another
thinking ahead.
Another cheat code for this and paying other teams is if they figured out left tackle on a rookie contract for the next several years, right?
Exactly.
Imagine that. Like, the rest of the NFL's like,
pick the right guy.
Are you serious? Did they really do that?
Yeah, because you probably allocate, if you're from a business standpoint, and it's big business, in the salary cap, they probably allocate so many dollars to the offensive line in their mind. I mean, you can break that rule, but when your left tackle's on a rookie contract,
right.
And he has, you can get a fifth-year option. So Creed Humphrey's contract will be done. These big numbers for Creed will be done when the left tackle needs the big dollars. So they're planning ahead so much, getting Harrison Butker signed, utilizing what you need to do. You talk about the salary cap, Stephen. That's the maximum you can spend. There's a minimum as well, which is good. The National Football League's made a minimum so that owners just don't sit there and take a bunch of money in and lose, right? You don't want that. You want your parity in your league. You don't want your bad teams to be bad. But the other thing that you want to do to be the best, Stephen, is utilize all your salary cap every year. That's the thing that they're smartly doing. So you can say, oh, we got salary cap problems in 2026 we need to take care of. The key is, look at your cap in 24 and utilize it. Don't leave a bunch of $1 million unutilized and invested in your players. So this game, this mathematical game, being a trained accountant, CPA like I am, I love this stuff. I love this salary cap and how it's utilized into the NFL and creates parity and all kinds of options. But the Chiefs are killing it. I keep saying, who's the next best run organization? The Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, the Niners are pretty. Damn good.
They took Trey Lance as the first pick, and
right, and they
got lucky with Brock Purdy.
Right.
And they got a wide receiver sitting out on the side right now, who's not the most dominant wide receiver in the NFL, is not playing. Right. I mean, it's a good suggestion. I have no problem with that. But I'm just thinking, my point is, if you put on a 1 to 100 scale and just put the Chiefs at 100, you got to go a long ways down before you find the next organizations that are doing it right day after day and competing with the Chiefs. From the owner through Brett Veach, and how about all of his staff? He mentions them. They deserve credit. Their evaluations from other pro players. The Chiefs might pick somebody up here on the waiver wire. I mean, what happens if they roll in a running back that you go, oh, I can't believe he's the Chiefs. How was he available? They're not done. They are so far ahead of everybody. And
edge. Look at an edge.
Edge rusher,
Bring
exactly.
In an edge, yeah.
And that's the easiest position to integrate other than defensive tackle. Because a defensive tackle, you can say, Chris Jones can grab him and go line up right there and blow through that hole. But on a defensive end, if you're an edge rusher and they say get in there on third down, pretty easy. Get to the quarterback.
And look, I will never, you will never, as long as I do this show, you will never hear me complain for 1 second about allocating any resources, whether it's draft picks or money, to the offensive line, as long as Patrick Mahomes is back there. Because unlike some people that I know, we watched the Super Bowl against Tampa. We know what could happen.
Well, if you love football,
Right.
You've watched every Super Bowl while you're alive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basic.
That's a minimum expectation.
I mean, people who don't even like football watch
throwing
every.
some shade on me
No, but because he has no idea what we're talking about.
I'm looking at you.
when
What are
we
you talking
mention that
about right now?
experience. Jake Gutierrez has no idea what we're talking
And
about.
I've
Jake,
never seen
I
the
have to
Chiefs
turn
lose
around.
the Super Bowl too.
Right.
So
He's a
you
good
know what I
luck
mean,
charm.
though? You understand what we went through, and I said that after I said I will never complain. I don't care if they overpay. I don't care if they reach in the draft. I don't care. Whenever they acquire an offensive lineman, trade, draft, spend, I'm going to be like, okay, that's great.
I know you're
I'm
talking.
never going to do that again.
It's not like the Super Bowl is the only game they
You had
they
your head
struggled.
in the sand.
I saw
You had
every
your head
game
in a
other than
cabin,
the Super
did
Bowl.
you?
Yeah. Every game except
Come
for the
on,
Super
Jake.
Bowl.
You had to slip that in sometime and
Did
watch
you?
it, right? Are you not telling
you
us the
watched
truth?
it?
You haven't said I haven't watched the
I
Super
have
Bowl.
not
You ever lie
watched
to
that
me?
Super
Did you ever
Bowl.
lie
Now,
to
are you
me?
lying right now, or are you?
I don't lie.
I didn't think you did.
I'm a man of my word.
Are you? You're a man of principle.
I am.
I like it.
Well, I can't believe you didn't watch it. It's historic. You got to know what happened in every Super Bowl.
My life's gonna be okay with not having that in my peripheral.
Well, you're going to hear Tom Brady again as he opens up his announcer here pretty soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Week 1, Dallas at Cleveland. I think that'll be his first game. Really interested to see how he sounds because I have no idea how that's going to play out. But to give him his respect, everything we say about Patrick Mahomes, just keep cranking it up. He deserves it. And think what Tom Brady did and his teams. I mean, for Tampa to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, for him to come to Arrowhead and win that overtime game, fact is, not only has he won a lot of Super Bowls, he took Patrick Mahomes on directly and survived or exceeded, and that's pretty amazing.
And it made Patrick Mahomes better. Because sometimes you have to go
taught
through
him
the
a lot.
fire. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
He learned from Alex Smith, then he learned from Tom Brady. I have to say, Tom Brady's always thought of as a non-athletic guy, right? I saw him dunk a basketball.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
And I'll always respect Tom Brady for going into the Chiefs locker room after that AFC Championship game and you know, to pay respect to Patrick Mahomes. And I always thought, you know, we thought the passing of the torch was going to be Mahomes beating him. In a way, that was the passing of the torch because Brady knew that was the next face of the NFL, and that was the guy that was going to take over as the man. And he saw it on the field because Mahomes didn't do anything to lose that game.
No.
You know, he put them on his shoulders and damn near carried him to the Super Bowl that year.
He pushed Tom Brady, and even in the Super Bowl, everyone looks at the end result. Tampa Bay did not whip the Chiefs in the first part of the game. Tom Brady had to make some unbelievable plays.
No.
They both deserve a lot of credit, but you know what? Tom's going to be in the booth. Patrick Mahomes is going to be on the field for a lot of years for our Kansas City Chiefs.
We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.